Good girl, Jelly. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Good. Very
Good girl.
Good. Good girl. Good. Now she's just using her nose. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Just stay right there for just a second until I have her come back. Yeah, it's a good girl.
Good girl.
Now she's checking to see if he did any business.
Right. Now we're just going to have him do the same thing.
Right.
So she's just going to do the same thing. Just walk on by. Yep, anywhere you want. Good. Good girl. Good.
Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl. Good. Come. Good girl. Good.
Good girl. So now at least you've seen demonstrated what we're talking about.
Right, so here, notice though that I don't get upset with her.
No.
I just tell her she's good.
Yep.
Right here. Good girl.
Yep.
Good. Good girl. But before she goes to that place,
Yep.
we just sort of cap it. Good girl. Good
One of the
girl.
things that
Good.
I've kind of resorted to doing is
Good
if I
girl.
see a dog coming in our direction, is I often go off the path.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I want to show you too.
We'll
let's
cross
say
the
you're
street sometime
not,
too.
You don't have a place to go, right?
Right.
So I want to show you one of our best. Come. Good girl. Come. Good girl. So notice what I'm doing here.
Yep.
I have her just right here, or you could just have your hand
Yep.
right here.
Yep.
Right? I'm keeping her close. I'm letting her see Dagus. I want her to see Dagus right now. And before she goes to that place, good girl. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Good. Okay. Good. Quiet. Good. Good. Good girl. Good.
Now, I've noticed you've been doing little pulls, but
Good.
they're not
So
strong. They're
right,
gentle.
all they are is letting
Little.
her know. I want her to be able to see Dagus. Good.
But I noticed you just put a little tension on it, but you're not like yanking her or anything
Right.
like that. It's just
And
a
so
little.
We just want her to stay at a level 2. We don't want her to go to a level 7, 8, 9.
Right.
If Dagus goes by, we want her just to be able to see him and stay relaxed. Good.
Yeah.
Good girl.
But one of the things that, like, once I go off the path, I will, like, have her sit,
Good.
and then because obviously she can't pop up if she, if I do this, but I grab one of her feet and I do something that she likes, which is massaging her foot.
So yeah, and now here, see how calm?
Yeah.
That's now
Yeah.
a good girl.
We're going to schedule a second session with Mary while you're here, honey. We got to have two.
So here,
We're going to schedule you for a second session, okay?
And the key
in another couple weeks.
And you'll see, she's going to get better with this. You see already how it's getting a little bit better, a little bit better.
I want her to have practice.
That's right.
And then we can return with you and see if
Absolutely. And we want her to practice this with Jelly Bean.
Yes.
Which is really important. So I first want to get her in the right frame of mind. So
Yes.
that's what we're doing right now. So we want her to be able to see Dagus. We want her to be able, now notice I'm not far away from her. I'm very close to her. And look how calm, I'm not grabbing, it's very calm. Right? So I have you have your line here so you're safe.
Now what is it that you do when she starts?
Hey. Shh. Good. Good. Shh. Good. Good. Hey. Shh. I don't want to snap up. Hey. Shh. Good. Shh. Good. Good girl. Shh. Hey. Shh. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good.
Good girl.
So this is important.
Okay, good girl.
You don't keep tension on this at all. Obviously, I'm putting enough so that she can't slip out of the collar. I don't want her to slip out of the collar.
So you hold it from there so she can't slip out of the collar.
So here, I want her to be able to see Dagus and just stay calm. Good.
But I notice when she starts to do that, you go shh.
That's right, because I want her to go to that settled place.
Yeah.
Good girl, doggy. Good. Good. Good girl. Good.
Well, at least you've seen some good examples of what we're talking about, though.
Yeah, yeah.
We wanted you to see that behavior because it can be distressing. You know?
Well, and if she doesn't do it here, we can't help. We can't.
Well, no,
right,
exactly.
right?
That's.
She doesn't display it. Now, if I have her way out here, I give her way too much. I can't give her this much because then she's going to be all over the place. So I make sure that I do have the line close because I want her to be able to see him and just stay relaxed.
Yeah, and a couple of the videos that I sent you, which was from yesterday, we were by a school and there were students that were out for their gym class and they were running, and when we were a fair distance away, she was fine, and then she did that when we got closer.
Right.
And my line was long because I'm like trying to film this to demonstrate.
Absolutely.
You know.
And so you have to do it when you're trying to videotaping it and you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have an option.
No.
You're doing your best.
Yeah.
So here I want you to notice she sees him when he looks at her, that's when she becomes more reactionary. Yeah. So when he's got his back to her, look at her.
Yeah.
Better. Good girl. But I stay close to her because I want her to know that I'm right here. And we are right here together. Yep. Good girl. So here you see she sat, now she laid down.
There we go.
There you go, good girl.
Good girl.
She does that, this is like a home run.
Well, that's what was great last night with this big new dog.
Yeah.
She just laid right down. Was quiet, she didn't freak out.
That's fabulous.
Got up, they touched noses, they started to play, everything was fine, you know. But you weren't like keeping her from going to see him.
The other thing we want to teach her though is A, maybe you don't want her to go visit another dog, or B, maybe there's a dog that isn't going to be so good.
Well, that's right. We've encountered
right?
certain people who want nothing to do with other dog. They want to stay with their dog. They do not want you to approach them with your dog. You know, these people are kind of snobby. You know what I mean? There's some people who do not welcome your dog coming up to them, and
and you don't know what the dog
like. No, you don't.
So notice this right now. She's using her nose.
Yeah.
She's still staying down. Good. Right there. Or I'm going to give her a little bit of right there. Hey. Good. So did you see where I caught it before it went to a 5, 6, 7, 8? Yeah. You could see she was doing really good. She was smelling.
Yep.
I can't catch her after the it's kind of like trying to catch her when she's already out there. She's already there. She's already at an 8. We've lost her.
Right.
So here I'm just letting her know that I'm right here with her. Good girl. Good girl. I want her to be able to see Dagus, and I want her just to be able to stay relaxed.
This would be good practice for you, honey, because sometimes when these things happen, you kind of freeze up.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like the bulldog incident. You know that.
Tell her about the pit bull. Tell her about
not the pit bull.
Well, tell her about that too. The pit bull. Remember?
Oh, right. Yes. Like we were maybe like where.
Here, Mary. This is
Dagus is, and the corner was like where the sidewalk. and all of it, we were approaching it because there was buildings, so I didn't see this, but all of a sudden this guy goes zooming past on a skateboard, but in front of him was a pit bull that was off leash.
And did it run up to?
No,
Oh,
it
didn't.
was just
Oh.
ran by, and she.
And that startled her and got her excited.
Well, it startled me more than her. She
Yeah.
barely responded.
Oh, she was okay. She was all right with
I
that.
was really, really
Good
happy with
girl.
that.
And yet,
The-
yet the bulldog.
The bulldog was a different story. We were coming through, like where we come through from the car to his apartment. I call it the tunnel. And there's like straight ahead is like the stairs that goes to like the middle section. And then there's
Good.
bikes. And as I'm approaching, I didn't see the dog at first, and she did. And so she wanted to say hi. And I was like, no. And I kind of got the vibe that the guy didn't want that to happen.
Okay.
And so I like
Good
touched her
girl.
collar, and as soon as I
Good.
touched her collar, she did what she did, and I'm like trying to control her.
Right. So sometimes, notice that I gave the touch before she went to
Right.
a 5.
You did.
Right. I didn't wait till she was already, because what can happen? It's kind of like
It escalates, and then it's.
it's almost like here's the match. Oh, the kerosene is leaking.
It's
and
a little late
Right.
if the
Whereas if I could touch it before the leakage
match hits
comes
the
out,
kerosene, yeah,
Right.
right.
If I could cap it before the kerosene squeaks out,
Ignites.
We're good.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's like we're capping it.
Yeah.
So here, good girl, good girl. So here, and the more she sees the person who's holding the line do this, the more then she can say, okay, I can relax. Because what she's seeing in this situation here is nothing bad happened to her, even though we capped her. We ask her, don't explode, just relax.
So it's important for you to get a couple fingers under that,
Yeah,
the
so it's
upper
here.
part of the.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh,
Like
okay.
as soon as I see a dog
Right.
approaching, I immediately pull her close,
Good.
Right.
and I put my fingers in.
Good.
You know.
But then the shh and the,
Good.
Yeah.
you know.
Good girl, Jellybean. Good. Good girl. Good.
Good girl.
So here, she was more relaxed, so I gave her a little bit more room, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the difference, though. I'm not holding this like, oh my God, here comes the dog.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I just have it here in case I can see right, I'm gonna lose her for a second, and then I just give her that little bit of information, but I don't keep the information.
So the calmer we can remain,
Correct.
it helps her pick up on the
That's
fact.
Easier said
Yeah.
than done.
Easier said than done,
That's
yes.
where Darlene's been
Just put
harping
some of
on me
that cheese whiz in your mouth. Oh, okay.
Darlene's been harping on you what?
about my leash handling skills.
It is not easy. You
No,
know,
and it is
hard.
Can we
It
work
is
on some of
hard,
that too?
absolutely.
Leash handling
It's-
skill?
And you know, it's
Good
funny
girl.
though, 'cause, like when she's in her harness,
Good girl.
I barely hold on to the
She's a different dog when
Yeah,
she's
well,
on
and I
duty, when
handle
she's on her
the
heart.
leash, you know, and I handle, and I know, I you know, because Darlene took me without her in her harness and anything, and she you handle the leash differently when she's in her harness and then when she's out.
How many incidents do you run into that are difficult when she's in her harness and you're out with her on
There's
duty?
only been a couple.
Only a couple. And there's dozens of incidents when she's not in her harness. She's a
But
different
they've only
dog.
been in the
She's
last 2 weeks.
yeah, but even prior to that
Would you
though, she's
say,
a different
though,
dog when she's
most of the time then when she's in a harness she doesn't have these responses.
No, she doesn't.
So then
yeah,
maybe
she's
having
quite a
her
different
wear the harness a lot is not a bad idea if it
Well,
makes her
when
psychologically
she takes her
feel
out
better.
in Canada, when she's out, and it's here too to some degree, she's often in her harness. And she is whenever we take her to any place other than on a walk to do her business or to the dog park where she's not in her harness. Every other time when we take her out to any public place, restaurant, shopping center, anything like that, she's always in her harness. And she's an angel.
Well, this is
She's an angel when she's
so
in her.
here,
So
I'm going to ask her. Let's go. Go to your spot.
it's quite amazing. She knows that her harness means she's, you know, on duty. And she's way different.
Good girl. Good girl.
Got some good music there, Irene?
Good girl.
Slightly in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what does this tell me?
Yeah,
And
much.
because what she will do what now?
Focus on you.
And what's she doing? Good. She's eating.
She's what? She's
Eating.
eating.
So when
Okay.
a dog is over threshold, forget food. It isn't going to happen.
Right.
Now we worked on this a little bit to get her to a spot where she could maintain. Good girl. And now we have her at work. So now even though Dagus is moving around, right, and I'm not quite as close to her, I'm using the food good. Good. And I'm going to do my rotation with her. Good. Good.
And next time for variety, can you bring Gracie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. Good girl.
Try out different, you know, yeah, a larger dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good girl.
Although Dagus has been a great
Good
test
girl.
case here because she certainly responded
She did all the
She's
stuff
gonna
she's
react to
supposed
every
to.
dog differently.
differently. Yeah, exactly.
Now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get you to practice what I just did.
Okay.
All right. So step one will be, let's try to make it easiest for her by putting her on her first. Now if you feel more comfortable with the shorter leash, put the shorter leash on, because this is a lot more to handle.
Yeah.
So I just do it because I use it all the time, but you can see I made it small. So if it feels more comfortable having the smaller one on, just do that. And then yep, you're just going to continue to do what you're doing. Give a little bit more distance in the beginning though, just a little bit more distance for her. And then anytime you want her to go on that, then you'll just reward her with some of the treats. That's all. Getting her comfortable being on that one. You cannot say she's a good girl enough. I mean,
Right.
it sounds like a broken, but we're conditioning this
Good
word.
girl. Good
You're doing a
girl.
great job. Please keep doing it.
Yeah, great.
You really
Good
can't-
girl.
You can't overdo the good part, because the other thing is when you're telling her she's good, you're staying calmer.
Yes.
It just helps you to stay calm. Because when we get nervous, we tend to get quiet, and then we get still, and then the dog reads all that, and then we've got combustion.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yes.
so that helps us just to focus on
Combustion,
breathing,
like your
relaxing.
kerosene analogy.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's like just breathe and relax.
Yeah.
Just breathe. The thing is, she's safe. We're all here. No one can get injured. We have her safe on a line. I mean, everything's
Yep.
variables are all in good place for her and for you. The reason that I have you rotate is because when you rotate, that's okay. So she just gets back on again. No big deal. The reason that I have her rotate is because when we move, then she technically can look at Dagus. So if she follows us and she goes with us, yay for us. But by us moving, technically, her face could be then focusing on Dagus. So we're just teaching her to stay focused, not really blocking her from seeing him. No, it's not like we're doing this the whole song and then we're moving. She moves with us, fabulous. But this also gives her a platform in which to stay on while working with the dog that's in the vicinity. So it teaches her to work in the presence of another dog without getting excited.
Now, doing this with the food and everything, isn't this like keeping her distracted from him?
Well, what it's doing is every time she tells her she's good, she reinforces. It's all classical conditioning. Good,
okay.
good food, good food. So we want good to mean like
Right.
wonderful things are happening for her. Nothing
Okay.
bad happens to her. She's like, I like this now. I like that happy house. And now you see how she's offering a different behavior as well. That tells me she's even more relaxed now, because now she's paying attention to you. She wants to give you a high five.
Yeah.
She's more relaxed. She's not so concerned about Dagus and Irene. So this is a much better emotional state of mind.